Let's face it, data traffic security is broken. And I mean that very literally. In today's modern enterprise environment, protecting data in motion is very, very fragmented. Multiple network hops, multiple devices, multiple applications. Sometimes you even have different groups that'll be responsible for trying to secure the data traffic in different parts of the IT environment. Add to this the fact that the enterprise today is increasingly borderless. We're routinely sharing applications across the enterprise perimeter with trading partners, with our supply chain, with employees who are working in Starbucks. And speaking of those employees, BYOD. Everyone wants to bring their own device into work today and use the devices to access applications and corporate data. Well, a lot of that is sensitive data. You need to figure out a way to protect it. Mix in the cloud and the rise of the Internet of Things, and you can see it's a mess trying to figure out how to protect data end-to-end with all these different endpoints and all these different resources and factors. This is part of the reason there has been such a major hacking crisis taking place worldwide, to the headline after headline after headline. A big part of the reason this is taking place is a failure of proper network segmentation techniques. Many of these breaches would have been blocked, stopped outright, or mitigated if better network segmentation and encryption of data in motion had been in use. We're Certes Networks. We've been securing data in motion for enterprises for the last 15 years. We've got thousands of encryptors that we've shipped out to companies in 70 countries around the world to protect their sensitive data. And by the way, none of our customers are the ones you're reading about in the hacking headlines. In 15 years, not one of our customers has experienced a hack on our watch. Not one. Well, let's take a look at this example that we have. This is a healthcare system. It's got a headquarters with a data center. It's got a number of hospitals that are affiliated with the healthcare system. It's got physicians' offices and regional clinics that are affiliated with it. And it's got a few other elements thrown in. It's got some applications out in the cloud that perhaps it uses for things like prescription formulary and stuff like that. It also has a number of affiliated physicians who are out treating patients, visiting them in their doctor's offices, that sort of thing. Say we use the traditional tools, the standard tools that are available to us in the typical enterprise environment to try and secure these applications. So for starters, we've got the application in the data center, and we want to set up to the router that's going to be allowing traffic to leave the enterprise, probably a layer 2 encryption going to that router between the data center top of rack switches and that router. Oh, and then we're going to have to configure the firewall and allow the traffic to leave the enterprise. And so the firewall is going to have a certain configuration. Then on the other side of the WAN link, say at the hospital where our lab technician needs to access the data, we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to set up probably an IPsec connection, layer 3 connection tunnel to the router. We're going to have someone at the hospital configure the firewall. We're going to have someone at the hospital get secure connectivity to the workstations. So you'll see just in this one particular part of the data path, we've had to touch 6 different systems and do pretty complex configuration. There are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of different groups that could be involved in trying to configure and protect this end-to-end. On top of that, each time you configure the encryption on a firewall or a router or a switch or an application, you end up having a very significant performance hit on that device, often 50% or more. And this is because you're depending on vendors who are not focused on protecting data in motion as their primary mission. You know, we say, let the routers route, let the switches switch, let the firewalls keep the bad guys out. Security of data in motion is too important to be a hobby. Let's talk about a new and better way to secure your critical data in motion. Let's talk about CryptoFlows. You can think of it as a next generation VPN. Now, traditional VPNs are focused on taking trusted devices and giving them access to a trusted network. But a next generation VPN, a CryptoFlow, is focused on allowing designated users to access the applications they're allowed to access based on a user profile. CryptoFlows chug away in the background, taking care of all that complexity I was talking about before to make sure that you can connect the users to the applications that they need to access. We automate those steps that otherwise would be put on the back burner or cause compromises or trade-offs. First off, you deploy our encryptors in the network. Now, these encryptors are plug-and-play, very simple, easy to deploy policy devices that will be accepting policies for encryption and enforcing those policies. They are available as a hardware appliance. They're available as a virtual appliance that can reside on a server or any other device. And they're entirely unobtrusive. The network doesn't know they're there. The applications don't know they're there. They just sit in the background, chugging away, doing their work. Once that's all accomplished, the rest is just point and click. You designate the users, you designate the applications, and you designate the encryption profile you want them to have. And that's it. Our system goes out, it configures all the right policies, all the right encryption requirements at each one of these points, and it sets up seamless end-to-end flows that are completely decoupled from the network and the applications themselves. There's zero impact on the network performance. There's zero impact on application performance. You never have to touch a firewall. You never have to touch a router or a switch or the application itself. It's completely seamless, straightforward, and automated. This is security that you control. This is security for the modern enterprise. And we've developed it based on 15 years of success with helping companies around the world to protect their critical data as it moves across all types of networks. This is how you establish security that is flexible, that flows, that has the performance that's required for your users. And this is most importantly how you avoid becoming a victim in this parade of hacking attacks that we've seen going on around the world. Please visit us at certesnetworks.com to learn more about how CryptoFlows can help you protect your data in motion.